Hello, dear students. How are you all? Hope doing well. This is your Faculty of Computer, Miss Sylvia Pereira from Adarsh Education Society. Today, we are going to start our first chapter, that is networking concept. So, topic covered in this chapter are introduction to networking, pros and cons of networking, that is advantages and disadvantages of networking, and evolution of network, components of network, different types of network, communication medium in networking, topologies, protocol, devices of networks, network models, sharing of data and devices. So this chapter is mainly divided into two parts, that means in two sessions. So in first part, we are going to cover, that means in today's session, we are going to cover introduction to networking, pros and cons of networking, components of network, different types of network, and communication medium in networking. So let's start with our chapter. Introduction to networking. A network is a collection of computers and other hardware components interconnected by communication channels that allows sharing of resources and information. Now, before understanding the networking concept, let's understand term network. So, students, network means connection. Example, when two people meet each other and become friends, that is called a network. When these two people will start sharing the information or data, that is called networking. So, in the technology also, when two or more computers or hardware devices connected together is called a network. When these computers will start sharing the data or information or resources like printer, scanner, folder is called term networking. Applications of computer. Sharing of resources such as printer, expensive software, which are the paid versions of software firms, technological organization. Why the sharing is necessary here? So students, because of reducing the cost of organization or company, we share resources and data, software. For example, if I have 10 computers in ABC Limited, that is an organization. Now, to all those 10 computers, if I won't be able to afford 10 printers or 10 paid software version, so which increases my organization cost. Instead, I will use the networking technology by sharing one printer or that paid software among 10 computers or even more devices, which reduces the cost of purchasing as well as maintenance. Sharing of information over geographical wide areas. So here we have a best example, that is internet. People can make a call to the other person. Even you must be aware, you must be accessing the internet connection, which is the best way to share your data, to share your videos. For example, now here people, now you must be knowing what is the situation in India. So we are going through this lockdown. Now here, still some organizations are still working. The people from different organizations are working from home. So how they are doing this? By using this networking technology only. So because of networking, this sharing of resources, sharing of expensive software, communication, making instant call, instant message, uploading the data, downloading information, connecting to the world instantly, and sharing the information worldwide, the internet made humans' life so easy. As every technology or every product, there are some pros and cons available in that. So, however, networking is very helpful. It is also has some drawback. So let's understand. First, we will see the best part of the network, and then we will see the drawbacks of the network. So first is increased speed. We can connect to the world within some milliseconds or microseconds. So for example, if I send any text message to my friend, within some microsecond, the message will be delivered to the destination or to my friend. Second is it reduces the cost, as we have discussed in the earlier slide, that by sharing the resources, data, paid softwares, we can reduce the cost of organization. While talking about improved security, whichever application we use on internet or in the networking technology, all it always try to provide the bestest security to all the application. And as the technology grown up, the security of this networking is also improved by networking application. Software manager. So if we take an example, we are using the Microsoft Office. So if I face any problem in the Microsoft Office, I can directly connect to the vendor, that is the one man who has already created this software, or the organization who has created the software. So that person can resolve any issues related to that particular software, and that software can be accessed by any person in the networking terms. We can send email. We also use the email services for sending mails. We use the video calling service, video conferencing for office meetings, instant messaging app, social networking sites. These all are different technological applications which is provided by this networking terms. Move to the drawbacks of the networking. So here, first is high cost of installation. So while implementing the network for the very first time, we have to involve so much of cost, that is so much of amount in this project. So it requires also one person or many persons in the shift duties to maintain this network 24/7 into 365 days. That means the full year, the 24 hours that has to be monitored by the person so that it should work smoothly for all the people. Failure of server. If main system goes off or fail to start, the entire system, the entire work affect. Now, if we take an example of mobile network, the mobile network is the core for all the application that you are using on the internet side. If the mobile network is not available only, you won't be able to access the mobile internet service. You won't be able to send any text message. You won't be able to make any call. So the core system of the mobile is network, which if it is not available, the entire work of the mobile goes down or affect. Evolution of network. In 1969, US Department of Defense started ARPANET, that is Advanced Research Project Agency Network. This was the first network technology implemented by US Department. The goal was to connect different universities and US defense. People exchanged information and played games by using this technology, and that was expanded very rapidly. After that, in mid-80s, National Science Foundation created the high capacity network called NFSNet, allowed academic use and private businesses. Many private businesses built their own network, which were later interconnected along with ARPANET and NFSNet to form the internet. ARPANET was shut down in 1990, and then government funding for NFSNet discontinued in 1995. But commercial services came into the scenario which are still running the internet. Different components of network. Student, if we have to make the network connection, we will require computers with network interface card, that is also called as Ethernet port. On each computer, networking devices like switch, router, hub, bridge, so that we can make a small LAN or we can use the internet connection. A system software, that is operating system, so that a user, a human can interact to the computer, and through that computer it can connect to other devices, it can communicate or share the data. Different types of cables. So students, nowadays we are using wired and wireless network. So if we are using wired network, we require different types of cable to use, and if we are using wireless device, we require the Wi-Fi devices or adapter cards, and we have to install them manually in the system. The network interface card sometimes is directly not available in the system. Sometimes it is by default available on the motherboard port, but sometimes if it is not available, then we can have this network interface card. In this slide, you can see the image of gigabit network interface, where you have got this Ethernet port and a circuit board which can be inserted on the motherboard. That facility is available on the motherboard. We also have a different types of wireless devices. You can see in the slide we have a wireless adapter, we have a dongle, we have different adapters, and also we have the wireless devices that makes the network connection. Then we have this cables. Cables, you can see how they have arranged and tagged properly so that we can identify which computer connection is connected to the switch at which port. Okay. Now sometimes we can use a Wi-Fi connection for making the wireless connection, that is without wire also we can use. But if I have to take the wired network with the Wi-Fi device, that is also possible with this wireless network. That means I can have a combination of wired as well as wireless network. Okay, student? Classification of area by their geography. Different types of network. There are several types of computer networks available nowadays. Common types of area the network include. Those 5 networks are personal area network, that is PAN, local area network, that is LAN, campus area network, CAN, metropolitan area network, MAN, and wide area network, WAN. The size of network can be expressed by geographic area they occupy and the number of computers that are part of network. A network can cover anything from handful of devices within the single room to the million of devices spread across the entire globe. So let's understand types of network one by one in detail. Personal Area Network or PAN is a computer organized network around an individual person within the single building. This could be inside a small office or residence. A typical PAN would include one or more computers, peripheral devices, video games, consoles, and other personal entertainment devices. If multiple individuals use the same network within the residence, the network is sometimes referred to as home area network or HAN. In a very typical setup, the resident will have the single wired internet connection connected to the modem. This modem then provides both wired and wireless connection for multiple devices. The network is typically managed by single computer but can be accessed from any device. This type of network provides great flexibility. For example, it allows you to send the document from your printer to the office or upstairs while you are sitting on the couch of your laptop. Upload the photo from your cell phone to your desktop computer. Watch movies from an online streaming service to your TV. Personal area networks covers the range that is 30 feet. Second, we have area network. A local area network or LAN consists of computer network at a single site. Typically, an individual office building, a LAN is a very useful for sharing resources such as data storage and printers. LAN can be built with relatively inexpensive hardware such as hubs, network adapters, and Ethernet cables. The smallest LAN may only use 2 computers, while larger LANs can accommodate thousands of computers. A LAN typically relies mostly on wired connection for increased speed and security, but wireless connections can also be the part of LAN. High speed and relatively low cost are the defining characteristics of LAN. LANs are typically used for single site where people need to share resources among themselves, but not with the rest of the outside world. Think of an office building where every day should be able to access files on the central server or be able to print the document to one or more centers. Those tasks should be easy for everybody working in the same office. But do you want somebody just walking outside to be able to send documents to the printer from their cell phone? If the local area network or LAN is entirely wireless, it is referred to as wireless local area network or WLAN. Campus area network. The campus area network, that is CAN, is larger than LAN but smaller than metropolitan area network, that is MAN. This type of networks are typically seen in universities, large K-12 school district or small businesses. They can be spread across several buildings. They are fairly close to each other, so users can share the resources. The coverage area for campus is around 2 to 4 kilometers of distance. The campus area network is made up of interconnection of local area networks within the limited geographical area. The limited equipments like switches, routers, and transmission media like fiber optic, copper plant, Cat5 cabling, etc. are mostly used or owned by the owner network. Metropolitan area network. This type of networks are larger than LAN but smaller than WAN and incorporate elements from both types of networks. MAN span an entire geographic area, typically town or city, but sometimes a campus also. Ownership and maintain is handled by either a single person or a company, that is a local council or a large company, etc. Wide area network. The wide area network, that is WAN, has no limit. The wide area network is a network that exists over a large scale geographical area. The WAN connects different smaller networks, including local area network, metropolitan area network. This ensures that computer and users in one location can communicate with the computers and users in other locations. WAN implements can be done either with the help of public transmission system or the private network. So basically, we use the internet connection while communicating in the WAN network. Distinguish between LAN, WAN and MAN. The key points are, first is definition. So as we have seen in earlier slides, that LAN stands for local area network, MAN stands for metropolitan area network, and WAN stands for wide area network. The ownership means who build their own network, right? So LAN is always often owned by the private organization. The MAN ownership can be private or public because according to the geographical area, MAN can contain the campus area network also, or it also requires the internet connection for the communication. WAN ownership should be public because almost in the World Wide Web. Speed. So LAN gives us very high speed. We can have 1 Mbps to 10 Gbps of speed in LAN. MAN speed is average. WAN speed is lower than that of LAN because while using the internet, we hardly get 1, 2 or 3 Mbps of speed. Delay. So whenever we are sending any packet in the LAN, the network propagation delay is very short in the LAN. That means it can be immediately transferred to the other person in the LAN network. Network propagation delay in the MAN is moderate, and network propagation delay in WAN can be taken longer time. Congestions. LAN has low congestion as compared to WAN because whenever we are transferring data, there are small amount of people involved into this LAN. So while communicating with each other, there is no chaos of network. There is no chaos of data packet which they are transferring among the network. But if we see in the man and WAN, because we have a large area that is of 100 kilometer for man, and World Wide Web, that is for WAN, it is unlimited. There is no limit for the coverage area. So here more people are involved in the communication. So while transferring their data, this takes a longer time, as well as the congestion is also very high. Fault tolerance of LAN is higher than WAN, because if any problem occurs, any network administrator can troubleshoot any problem within the LAN because of small network coverage area. The fault tolerance in MAN and fault tolerance can be lower because there's a big network, and if one person try to solve the problem, will take much longer time. Maintenance. Designing and maintaining LAN is easy and less costly than WAN. Designing and maintaining WAN is complex and more costly than LAN. But designing the WAN network is always costly. We always have to pay for this connection. Transmission media. In data communication, transmission media is a pathway that carries the information from sender to receiver. We use different types of cables or waves to transmit the data. Data is transmitted normally through electrical or electromagnetic signals. For any networking to be effective, raw stream of data is to be transported from one device to other over some medium. Various transmission media can be used for transfer of data. This transmission media may be of two types, that is guided, means wired network, and unguided, means wireless network. The guided media, that is wired media, transmitted data travel through cable system that has a fixed path. For example, copper wires, fiber optic wires, etc. Unguided, that is wireless media, transmitted data travels through free space in the form of electromagnetic signal. For example, radio waves, infrared, etc. Each transmission media has its own advantages and disadvantages in terms of bandwidth, speed, delay, cost per bit, ease of installation and maintenance, etc. Let's discuss some of the most commonly used media in detail. So let's start with the guided media, that is wire media. The first is coaxial cable. Coaxial cables are copper cables with better shielding than twisted pair cables, so that transmitted signals may travel longer distance at higher speeds. The coaxial cable will consist of these three layers, that are stiff copper wire as core, insulating material surrounding the core, closely woven braided mesh of conducting material surrounding the insulator, plastic protective sheet encasing the wire. Coaxial cables are popular choice because their shielded design allows the center conductor to transmit data quickly while being protected from damage and interface. Now you can see in the image also, that is coaxial cable image. The coaxial cables are mainly built up of four different layers. So as I have told you before how they work, the center conductor, which is usually a copper wire through which data video travels. The second layer, that is surrounding the copper wire, is a dielectric plastic insulator. So this plastic insulator is actually protecting the center conductor copper wire, which is transferring the data. The braided mesh made from copper that helps to shield the cable from electromagnetic interference. So this braided copper shield actually controlling the electromagnetic interference. The external layer, that is the last layer, is a plastic coating which protects the external layers from the damage. Advantages of coaxial cables are they have excellent noise immunity. Signals can travel longer distance at higher speed, that is 1 to 2 Gbps for 1 kilometer cable. Can be used both for analog or digital signals. inexpensive as compared to fiber optic cables, and easy to install and maintain. Disadvantages also we have for the coaxial cable, that is expensive as compared to twisted pair cables and not compatible with twisted pair cables. Next is twisted pair cable. This copper wires are most common wires used for transmitting signals because of good performance at low cost. They are most commonly used in telephone lines. However, if two or more wires are lying together, they can interface with each other's signals. To reduce this electromagnetic interference, pair of copper wires are twisted together in helical shape like DNA molecules. Such twisted copper wires are called twisted pair cables. To reduce the interference between nearby twisted pairs, the twist rates are different for each pair. Are the backbone of telephone system and Ethernet network. Advantages of twisted pair cable. So twisted pair cable can be used for both analog and digital transmission. Less expensive for short distance. Entire network does not go down if the part of network is damaged. We also have disadvantage for twisted pair cable. Signal cannot travel long distance without repeaters. High core rate for distance greater than 100 meter. That means the data can be sent up to 100 meter. Very thin and hence break very easily. So it can damage at any time. So we cannot give any guarantee of this particular twisted pair cable. Not suitable for broadband connection. Now here in this twisted pair cable, we have two types. One is shielding twisted pair cable and unshielded twisted pair cable. So twisted pair cable, that is shielded twisted pair cables, the wires that are not shielded but simply bounded together, protective sheath, is called unshielded twisted pair cable. This cable can have maximum length of 100 meters. As we have discussed already that it can send data up to 100 meter. Shielding makes the cable bulky. So UTP are more, that is unshielded twisted pair, are more popular than STP cables. But if we say that UTP cables are prone to cause, because that can be easily break, but STP cables compared to UTP is very strong and send data very effectively. Third, we have optical fiber, that is fiber optic cable. In glass or plastic threads used to transmit data using light waves are called optical fiber. Light emitting diodes, that is LED, and laser diodes, that is LEDs, emit light waves at the source, which is ready by detector at the other end. Optical fiber cable has a bundle of such or fibers bundled together in protective covering. Each fiber is made up of these three layers, starting with the immoral layer, that is core made of thin quality silica glass or plastic, cladding made of high quality silica glass or plastic with the lower refractive index than the core, protective outer covering called buffer. Note that both core and cladding are made of similar material. However, as refractive index of the cladding is lower, any stray light were to escape the core is reflected back due to total internal reflection. Optical fiber is rapidly replacing copper wires in telephone lines, internet communication, and even in cable TV connections, because transmitted data can travel very long distances without weakening signal mode. Fiber optic cable can have maximum segment length of 2 kilometers and bandwidth up to 200 Mbps. Multi-node fiber cable can have maximum segment length of 100 kilometers and bandwidth up to 2 Gbps. Here also we have some advantages and disadvantages of fiber optic. So advantages are it has a high speed bandwidth, immune to electromagnetic interference. So it has a fault tolerance for the electromagnetic interference because the source of fiber optic cable is light. So we don't use any copper media in this. So there is no any option for the electromagnetic interference which affects the data pass out through this medium. Suitable for industrial and noisy areas. Signals carrying data can travel long distances without weakening. Disadvantages of optical fiber. Despite long segment length, using optical fiber may not be viable option for everyone due to this disadvantages. Optical fiber cables are very expensive than twisted pair cable and coaxial cable. Sophisticated technology requires for manufacturing, installing and maintaining optical fiber cables. Light waves are unidirectional, so two frequencies are required for full duplex transmission. So that was about the wired media, that is guided media. Now we are going to see the wireless media, which is unguided media. It has three types, that is infrared communication, radio waves and microwave communication. Let's see one by one. Infrared wireless is the use of wireless technology in devices or systems that convey data through infrared radiation. Infrared is electromagnetic energy at a wavelength or a wavelength somewhat longer than those of red light. The shortest wavelength infrared borders visible red in electromagnetic radiation spectrum. The longest wavelength infrared borders are radio waves. Infrared wireless technology is used in intrusion detection, home entertainment control unit, robot control systems, medium range, line of sight laser communication, cordless microphones, headset, modems, printers and other peripheral devices. Infrared wireless cannot pass through walls. Therefore, IR communications or control is generally not possible between different rooms in a house or different houses in the neighborhood. That means if two infrared devices are communicating with each other, there should not be any obstacle. So if any barrier comes in between these two devices, the communication will be lost. This might seem like a disadvantage, but IR wireless is more private. Some IR schemes offer a level of security comparable to that of the hardwired systems. The second point is radio frequency. The radio frequency is easier to generate and because of its large wavelength, it can penetrate through walls and structures alike. Radio waves can have wavelength from 1 millimeter to 100,000 kilometers and have frequency range from 3 Hz, that is very low frequency of radio waves, to 300 gigahertz, which is extremely high frequency. Radio frequencies are subdivided into 6 bands. Radio waves at lower frequency can travel through walls, whereas higher radio frequency can travel in a straight line and bounce back. The power of low frequency waves decreases sharply as they cover long distance. High frequency radio waves have more power. Lower frequencies such as VLF, LF, MF bands can travel on the ground up to 1000 kilometers over the Earth's surface. Radio waves of high frequencies are prone to be absorbed by rain and other obstacles. They use ionosphere of Earth atmosphere. High frequency radio waves such as HF and VHF bands are spread upwards. When they reach ionosphere, they are refracted back to the Earth. The examples of radio waves are TV. You must be knowing we are getting the signal to our dish channel and then from there we can see different channels on the TV. Then the next example is radio frequency. You must be heard about FM, right? 93.2. So whichever frequencies we have got, that is 102.8, 98.3. These are the different frequencies which comes from the transponders to our radio signals, and then we can listen all the music from at the different frequencies. So these are the best examples of radio frequencies. The third topic that we have here is microwave. Microwave travel in a straight line, and so the transmitter and receiver station should be accurately aligned to each other. Microwave propagation is a line of sight propagation. So towers hosting the station should be placed so that the curvature of earth or any other obstacle does not interfere with the communication. Since it is unidirectional, that is at the one side, it allows multiple receivers in a row to receive the signals without interference. Microwave does not pass through building, so indoor receivers cannot be used as a effectively. Microwaves are often refracted by atmospheric layer. The refracted rays take longer time to reach the destination than the direct rays. This causes out of phase transmission called multipath pattern. Examples of microwaves are nothing but the cellular phones, that is your mobile phones, television network, satellites, long distance telephone communication. So this was about the unguided media. So students, in this particular session, we have studied the different types of network. What do you mean by network and what is the difference between the term network and networking? So network means the connection and networking means the sharing of data and resources. We have also seen the application that where we require this internet communication, the advantages and disadvantages of networking, that is sharing of data so that multiple people can access that particular data at the same time or wherever they want to access the data. The second thing is which also reduces the cost of company or organization. Then we have the connectivity which makes the communication very easy. We can make a video call, we can make a telecommunication call. So all this is possible because of network connection. We have also seen the history of network. Now history of network, we have first got the network by US, that is called as ARPANET. The second which we have got is National Science Foundation, that is an organization who created NFS net. Then we have seen the different components of network, the NIC card, which is very much required for communication or connection to the computer. So we require the two or more computers. We require the network interface card or the LAN card where we can connect the Ethernet cable. If we are using the cable, we will require the different types of cable. If we are using the Wi-Fi or wireless communication media, we will require a Wi-Fi device, a different adapters, or maybe sometimes a dongle if we are using the wireless network connection. Also, we require the network devices like switch, router for intermediate connection. That means all the computers can be connected to this particular devices. Then we have different types of network according to the geographical area. This network types are divided. Like for example, we have PAN, LAN, CAN, MAN and WAN. So PAN is the personal area network. So if my laptop and mobile is connected or my desktop or mobile is connected is called as personal area network. The LAN, if two or more computers within the building or in the room, if they are connected, that is called as local area network. Campus area network, the coverage area of campus area network is 2 to 4 kilometers. So whatever is between this 2 to 4 kilometer area range will be covered in the campus area network. Then metropolitan area network, a city, a state can be considered as a metropolitan area city. The distance of or the coverage area for man is 100 kilometer. Then we have got the WAN, that is wide area network. The wide area network is unlimited. Here we require the internet connection for the communication because it covers the longest distance. So whenever we have to make the video call or telecommunication network, we use this wide area network communication. Then we have transmission media. We have wireless and wired network. So in wired network, we have coaxial cable, twisted pair cable and fiber optic cable. In guided media, we have infrared, radio waves and microwave communication. So students, this was about the half session of first chapter. The remaining topic of this chapter will be covered in the part 2 session. Till then, have a great day. Take care.